BMRforum.com and BMRodds.com, boys. What is going on? Welcome back to episode number 106 of The Lobby, all decked out in his New York Knicks gear. Mr. Sam's in charge. What's up, Sammy?
Great time to be a New York fan. First Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years since I was 9 years old. So, again, I don't really count that. So, really the first time, as an adult. So, very exciting time. A lot of Knicks fans, obviously, at work and a lot of my friends. So, I'm actually maybe potentially thinking about going to a block party if they made it to the finals. Nice. No way would I ever go to a game, but, drive down 3 hours just to be a couple blocks outside the stadium, be for that madness. So, definitely a potential. But good time to be a New York fan and excited to see what happens starting tonight.
That would be pretty crazy if they end up going all the way, winning the championship, Sam. I could see you there right in the thick of it, overturning cars, lighting fires, and having
definitely won't be doing that, not losing a job. But it was a Category 4 as far as like the police presence after they won the second round series, which Category 4 is like active shooter or terrorist attack. Like there wasn't that much violence, but it was just the amount of people that were there. Category 4 down there.
Crazy. And Reload, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, doing well here. I'm looking forward to the Knicks Pacers series too. I grew up a Knicks fan originally, and I still remember all the heyday with the Knicks Pacers series, and you gotta love it. If you gotta be against anybody, I was kind of hoping it would be the Pacers. So should be a good series, and I'll give my thoughts on the game when we get to that. But a lot of other action on the board tonight too. So kind of a mini equinox going here, I think.
Yes, definitely a great time to be a sports fan. There's definitely a lot going on for sure. And last but not least, Mr. Donnie Rightside. What's up, Donnie?
Yeah, you can't see Sammy down there burning car. You can't burn inventory. I mean, Sam looks at cars differently than most of us. You can't be lighting them on fire. That could be a paycheck someday that comes around the Sam at this point. But also in the Northeast, what's the deal? 52 degrees, rain, May 21st. Yeah. Like, I'm wearing a skull cap outside to walk my dog today. I felt like 2 weeks ago we were finally like, all right, 70s from here on out. And it is freezing today. My goodness.
Yeah.
Very, very surprising for sure. But, Sammy, let's jump over to you. Let's start off with the Preakness. Congratulations to journalism on winning it. Did you have any skin in the game?
No, I didn't, but what a race that was. It was crazy. Journalism got bumped down the stretch and then made up just incredible, for incredible length each stride that he was going. Like the last 5 or 6 strides, he gained probably, 5 or 6 lengths on him. And even the announcer was going crazy. He's like, journalism, he's solid in a second. He's going to win. And then he, the last stride and a half, he passed him. And I'm sure gamblers were happy. He went off at even money. And, so I'm sure some people were happy, and then some people that were taking the upsets weren't happy. Right. On the other nice event, the PGA Tour Championship, that was fun to watch. Shout out Scotty Scheffler, who won that. I tried to find some live action on Sunday, but pretty much all the way after the first few holes, Scotty Scheffler was a big favorite. Unless you waited all the way until like the 9th or 10th hole before the collapse, Scotty Scheffler was pretty much favored all of Sunday. But it was fun to watch. Good weekend of sports. None outside the major sports, it's always good to get some other action with the horse racing, with the NASCAR, the F1, and the golf in there every once in a while.
Thank you, Sammy. Donnie, let's jump over to you. Did you catch any of the Preakness, any golf, and as Sammy mentioned, any racing?
Yeah, I did actually watch the Preakness, and the only thing I could think of was journalism winning that race. Like, man, we'd have a legitimate Triple Crown contender here if he just would have won the Kentucky Derby in a close loss there heading out to the Belmont. But it wasn't meant to be, but still an awesome horse race nonetheless. And that's all you can ask for while you're watching. On the golf topic here, yeah, I think most of us are watching where it's like, looks like it's over. Oh, no, looks like he might lose. Oh, no, it's a blowout for Scotty Scheffler. It's just what he does. And by the way, Scotty Scheffler playing this week here, a massive favorite at the Schwab. And I'm surprised he's actually playing a week after winning the PGA Championship. So the machine never stops. Scotty Scheffler could be 5 shots back, 10 shots back. Like the sportsbook's like, yeah, he's the favorite to win this tournament. And they're damn near right half the time, it feels like.
And surprisingly, in regards to the Preakness, viewership actually was down this year, about 5.9 million compared to 7 million last year, which I'm personally a little bit surprised about. But Reload, let's jump over to you. Your thoughts on the race?
Yeah, I had journalism. I posted that one on the forum. Not the biggest payout, obviously, but once in a while you got to step in and take a favorite, which is what I did there. And it was a great stretch run there. You know, how he had to bump his way through, and you really don't see a lot of that these days. Like what was said, you think that, probably at best he was going to maybe close for second, and then he grabbed first. Same kind of run happened for there was a horse, I think it was a Dubai World Cup earlier this year, did the similar stretch run like that. Just came way alive at the end and just blew for the finish line and got it. The golf, yeah, I like rooting for Scotty. I was glad to see him win. I think it was some vindication after all he went through last year in golf. So he's definitely back. I think everyone's going to be on him at the sports books again and everything. The odds will just keep dropping way low. I'd like to see him keep doing well this year.
Yes, definitely, for sure. And Donnie, let's jump over to you. Let's talk a little baseball. I know we already have some games underway this afternoon, but how's the day been so far, and what do you got for the nightcap?
Pretty good. Had a couple alt-team totals that came in, just waiting to connect it with one more play tonight, which is San Diego and Toronto. I just need Toronto to score 2.5 runs or more, and that'll be a cashing ticket there. But also looking at that game overall, 8.5. Gausman is a much better pitcher than Randy Vasquez. Vasquez is one of those guys with a 3.5 ERA, which isn't bad, but a super high xFIP number. And it is freezing cold in Toronto. But the good part about that, guys, is it's a dome. They'll close it. It's nice, comfortable temperatures inside, so we're not worried about the cold conditions. You take a look at some of those cold conditions tonight, Texas and the New York Yankees. DeGrom, who's been really good this season for the Rangers, going up against Yarborough, who's one of those guys, again, low ERA but high xFIP numbers, a 7.5 in the Bronx. Why? Cold conditions, rain in the forecast, wind blowing in double digits from right field. I don't think we get 8 runs in the Bronx tonight. I'll take the under 7.5. And then late night action. Los Angeles Angels here. Kohanowitz will be on the mound. He struggled to start the season with a couple decent starts going up against J.P. Sears. The MO of that ballpark in Sacramento is don't care about the pitchers, just take the over. But tonight, I'm going to take about a plus 150 underdog tonight with the Angels to knock off the Athletics with a good price, and we'll probably get some good runs in that game as well.
All righty, Reload. Thank you. And Sammy, besides the Yankees, who else you got tonight?
What do you mean? You gotta talk about the Yankees. They're playing on Amazon Prime tonight. I'm able to watch them, so you gotta be able to take them. It's a Wednesday tradition, unlike any other. Yankees at even money versus Texas, going on a nice little win streak after they took advantage and dismantled the Mets and Juan Soto. That was nice over the weekend. And then right now I got the Twins going over Cleveland, and then I also like the Dodgers at home over the D-backs tonight.
All righty, Sammy. And last but not least, Reload out on the diamond. What do you got?
Yeah, I looked at the Rangers-Yankees game myself. I agree with what Donnie was saying about DeGrom. I'm liking his chances here, and I would take the Rangers at the low premium here on the road at minus 105. Yankees have had some steam, but I think they're due for a slower game here at some point. And I think, like Donnie was saying, that's probably going to come tonight. I also do like the under 7.5 as well for the same reasons. So that's Rangers and the under there. I also took a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks at the LA Dodgers tonight. I like the Diamondbacks plus 120. It seems like I take them every time on this show, but they come through, and my man Burns is on the mound again. Interesting series there. The team split the first 2 games. Arizona won the opener. Dodgers won yesterday. But I'm liking Diamondbacks to get the win here. They've done actually pretty well off of losses lately. They tend to bounce back pretty quick. And Burns has been heat, 10 strikeouts against the Rockies last time out. And he also notched a shutout win over the Dodgers not long ago, a couple weeks ago. So liking the Diamondbacks plus 120 and the under 9 in that game as well.
All righty, Reload. Thank you. Donnie, let's jump over to you. NFL, the tush push has been banned. What do you think?
No, it hasn't been banned. The tush push stays alive today in a vote that was supposed to get it banned, but came up 2 votes short. So the tush push lives on here. And Jeffrey Lurie gave a passionate speech before to the owners and basically said, hey, you know what? You ban it, we live in infamy at this point because you couldn't stop a play we created. If you leave it, we will dominate on the field in 2025. So strike up a win for the tush push and get ready for another 17 games of the tush push with the Eagles next year. Hallelujah.
Reload, your thoughts on the tush push?
Yeah, I saw that the vote failed. I actually think it should be banned, and I think it should have been banned even sooner than this right now. I think back to a lot of these times where I'm okay for finding loopholes in the rules.
Right.
And I'm trying to find something to your advantage, but I think it's gone on a little too long right now. And I think they should do away with it. It's goes back to what Roger Goodell, when he first took over as commissioner, he wanted excitement in every play. And that's why they moved the extra point, right? They made that longer and everything else. Well, the tush push isn't really an exciting play at all. And I think, hey, it failed this time. I think, hey, if they keep voting on it, maybe they'll eventually get rid of it.
And Sammy, your thoughts on the tush push in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, it should be legal, but it's frustrating, as a opponent of the Eagles, that is the best team to do it. And, being a Cowboy fan, watching it twice a year, it's frustrating, but you know what? Defend it, so I don't know. It's not ruining player safety. So if there was a lot more injuries, then of course there's a case to stop it. But teams that are against it are just teams that can't defend it. So if you defend it better, then you won't complain about it. That's really what it comes down to. But it should be legal.
All righty, thank you. And guys, this coming Friday, a little bit of a different date for poker event number 10 this Friday. So you only have 2 more opportunities, boys, to get your hands on a poker tournament of champions ticket. So make sure you jump in, join us at the table. A lot of great group of guys. Seems like we're getting the same group of guys there each and every week, but always nice to see new faces out on the felt. So definitely feel free and join for a chance at getting some free bowler coins. But Donnie, one NBA game on tap tonight. Knicks and Pacers. What do you like here?
Yeah, by the way, last night I really liked Oklahoma City, and it didn't look so good at the half here, but really pulled away in the second half. One of those games most people probably looked and say, hey, rested and ready, Minnesota Timberwolves 7.5. I really liked the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, and I really liked the Thunder, my goodness, the Timberwolves moving forward. Now, if we relay it to tonight, I think it's a must-win for the Knicks. I really do. Like, the Pacers aren't going into this game going like, we'll see what happens. Of course the Pacers want to win this game. But I look at this series and the prices for the series under a -150 for the New York Knicks, which is a very cheap price, which means if the Knicks do lose tonight, the Pacers will go to a favorite in the series, even though we've only played one game. I like the Knicks tonight. The Knicks by 5+ points makes sense to me tonight. That's the way I'm rolling.
All righty, thank you. And Sammy, we already know how you're going to be going here, but let's hear your thoughts on the game anyway.
Yeah, well, when it comes to series, even overall series and other series, I don't like betting each individual game as far as the spread because, it's tough when they're playing the same opponent each time. I'd rather look at a series price because realistically, the Knicks aren't going to sweep them. I would love that for happen, but what I'm going to do, bet the money line every single game? There's no real value in that. But if you take the Knicks, -155 for the whole series, there's at least value in not having the action. But I will find action in player props. The other thing I like is Knicks and 6 at +500. So if you take Knicks 4-2, there's some value there at +500. Knicks winning at home, that would be pretty awesome. And then for tonight, I like Tyler Halliburton under 2.5 3-pointers. He only did it last game against, when they won the series. Other than that, he hasn't done it in the 7 games prior. And then the other prop I look at in the Oklahoma series is Oklahoma City in 5 games at +175. So again, it's tough to bet each individual game, but you take the series price, find to try and take a plus odd somewhere. Knicks in 6, Oklahoma City in 5, and hope for some future action there.
Let's go Knicks. And Reload, your thoughts on the Knicks Pacers game tonight?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it. I am going to go with the Pacers +4.5. I think they could steal the first game here. And if not, hey, maybe it comes down to the end. I was impressed with the Pacers going into the playoffs at the end of the regular season. They were a tough team and a team nobody wanted to face, I think. And they've cashed their way through. I also do like the series price at +125. Donnie got into this a little bit, but if the Pacers steal one of the first 2 games, then the odds are going to flip on that. So I think taking an early position on a series at +125, it could pay off, and I think I'm going to do that too. So, hey, if they lose the first 2 games, then I guess it's time to maybe press up later in the series or something. But so for me, it's Pacers +4.5 and the Pacers to win the series at +125. I think the Knicks did well against the Celtics, but I think the Celtics kind of beat themselves a little. And it's going to be a tougher series here.
All righty, thank you. Sammy, let's jump over to you. Let's talk some NHL playoffs. Have you catching any games, betting anything?
Oh yeah, loving the NHL playoffs. Just as good as the NBA playoffs. I'm kind of mad at the timing of tonight's games. They're both at 8:00. Yesterday they at least separated by 30 minutes, which then some of the intermissions line up with each other. Today they did it horribly. They're both at 8:00. But I do like the Oilers. Again, kind of like the NBA. I'm not going to bet individual games. We'll look at series prices. I like the Oilers at -120 over the Stars. Mainly just rooting for them. Again, one of my best friends is an Oilers fan, so I'm going to be rooting for them. And I think there's a little bit of value of taking the Hurricanes at +200. They did get beat up last night at home, but again, the home in the hockey isn't as stronger or as important as it is in other sports. But the Hurricanes still a favorite tomorrow in game 2. So you can get them at +200 now for the series price. And still they have the home series advantage, if they take a little bit of that. But yeah, so I'll be looking at Oilers series price and the Hurricane series price.
All righty. Donnie, over to you. NHL playoffs. You watching any games?
Yeah, sure. Look, I like Edmonton. It's one of the teams I like to cheer for, and we don't get them at a 10:30 start or a 10 o'clock start tonight. It's at 8:00, which is great. And also, how about this for playoff hockey? A total for the game at 6.5, which means you need 7 goals to hit the over. Typically, that's an under. If you're just line reading, you probably should take the over because how outrageous the 6.5 is. But I'm not an old school hockey guy. Isn't it supposed to be less penalties in the playoffs? And we'll see what happens with great goaltending. Give me the under 6.5 for old time's sake.
All righty, and reload. NHL playoffs. What have you been thinking so far?
Yeah, same thing here. I like that Oilers Stars under. I took it at under 6 at even money instead of taking the juice 6.5. And I'm liking it. I do think like the Oilers Jets series, the under went 3-2 in those games. Stars Jets, the under was 5-1. So I think that'll carry into this series. There were some pretty tight games toward the end of the last round. And I'm hoping that carries into the first game here. I think it's easier trying to go with the total than trying to pick a side. I was a little undecided on the side in that one. And same went for the other game with Carolina. I thought about leaning to Carolina tomorrow night, but instead I'm just going to pass on that one and focus on the under tonight.
All righty, thank you. And Sammy, last but not least, let's jump over to you. Let's talk some French Open, a little bit of tennis. How's the threat looking so far?
Yeah, so pretty exciting. We got the French Open coming up, 2-week tournament. But I am off this weekend too, or Sunday, Monday.
Oh, wow.
Memorial Day. So be able to watch a little bit more. It's always tougher at work when I'm trying to, split screens. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to go against the 2 favorites right now and to go with Alcaraz as the favorite in the men's side and going with Sabalenka on the women's side. Iga Swiatek, who should have been the favorite, has been the French Open favorite for many years, hasn't won a tournament in a year. She hasn't even made a final in any of the clay court swing. So it's hard to go against Sabalenka, and it's hard to take Swiatek right now, considering that she hasn't won anything all year. She's dropped down to number 5 for the first time in 4 years. So pretty crazy. And Sabalenka is the overwhelming number 1. Alcaraz, even with Sinner back, Sinner is beating everyone except for Alcaraz. He's like 86-7 over the last year and a half, but 4 of those losses are to Carlos Alcaraz, who's dominating the clay court over the past few seasons. So it's hard to go against anyone but them. If you parlay them, if you're allowed to in a futures parlay, it pays +631. So that's what I'll be taking for the futures, and then obviously follow along for some daily action.
All righty, Sammy, thank you. And best of luck to everyone on the forum on all your action this coming week. And we will see you guys on the forum.
See you.
See ya.
Right.